Okay, this is an old Model T coil. I untarred it, took the tar out of it, and I found that the capacitor was kaput, shot in it. So I have some 4.7 UF 50 volt capacitors. It's just a little blue capacitor, and that's what I'm going to put in it. And I've got it kind of hooked up here, and I can turn the light off here. I've got a spark plug over here. I'll show you the spark. It'll knock you on your butt if you touch that. And I cleaned up the points a little bit. They're not sparking too awful bad. Making a hell of a spark on the spark plug though. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wire this little blue capacitor in there, and then I'm going to leave the original capacitor there. I'll just hook it up in there, and then put the cover back on. Well, I'll put the tar back in. I got the tar, I'll melt that and put that back in. I'm debating on whether to put that tar in or fill it with wax instead. I'd kind of like to put the original back in though. So, but anyway, and then I was going to clean up the box a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. And that will be fixed. It will be in an operational Model T coil that I repaired. So just thought you'd like to see that. Okay, I took that coil apart, and I melted the tar out of it, so I have the tar to put back into it, and a little what was it, 4.7 50 volt UF 4.7 UF 50 volt capacitor is what I'm going to be putting into it. And it seems to work just fine on that capacitor. But the tar, I'm not going to put that in until I can do that outside. I don't want to stink up the... It's get a little too warm. It stinks and smokes. So I'll do that this summer, and melt her down and pour it back in. But I'll put the parts and put it together, and I'll have a good Model T coil. A friend of mine gave me that coil. He didn't know if it was any good or not, and it was kind of in pieces, and I took it and I said, yeah, I'll try to fix it, and it looks like it'll work. First thing I checked was secondary and primary windings, and they were good. So what's wrong is there's a long capacitor on the long side in those, and that's normally what goes bad in them. And you can just substitute it with a smaller capacitor, like what I'm going to do. So anyway, just thought you'd like to see that. Catch you later.